Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, it is 12 o'clock, and that can mean only one thing. Welcome back to my latest 20 and 21 session. This week, I'm going to be talking to you how to build your first email in the free version of HubSpot. So this amazing tool that I'm talking you through step by step, week to week, offers you the chance to send 2,000 emails per month for free. And I'm now going to show you exactly how we're going to go about building that very first email so that you can jump right in and send your own. So let's get straight into it. So here, as you can see, is the kind of opening screen of the email section of HubSpot. So how have I got to this? I have clicked along the top menu, I've clicked onto marketing. I've then come down a couple of options and I've clicked email. You may have a slightly different view to this if you've ever already clicked on any of these options or skipped this step. I'm trying to demo this each week in a brand new empty portal to try and give the best experience for those that are literally following me and taking it from free. So what we're going to do here is we're going to assume that we're not going to import any data or any lists from other providers. We're going to set up a brand new email in HubSpot. So we're going to click I'm new to email. And what it's going to try and talk us through is a little wizard, which is really handy to go ahead and bring across data if you have that. But again, I'm going to skip this for now because I want this to be brand spanking new for us here. So I'm going to click skip this setup and it's going to remove that from my tool, from my window. So I'm not going to be presented with this option again, but that's fine. So this is the kind of more traditional screen I would expect to see if you've left that wizard. And what we're going to do is create an email. So we have an option in the center or in the top right hand side to create our very first email. So first things first, you kind of got to consider what is the email that you are looking to create. What's the purpose? Is it for marketing? Is it for engagement? Is it to announce something to your existing customer base? There's many different styles. Won't go into that now, but there's data that shows you what kind of templates work better, what kind of content types work better. Do a little bit of your own research or ping me some questions. Be more than happy to ask them on another session. So for our first email, I think I'm going to go with a newsletter. It's something pretty generic that many companies would look to send out. So I'm going to go ahead and select this newsletter template that HubSpot have kindly given us a free portal, given us a free email sender, and now they're giving us a free template to begin with. So what more could we ask for? So as you can see, when it loads, the template editor, if you've used other systems, you're going to find real similarities here. It's a drag and drop. It's really simple to use. And there's no reason why anyone with some basic computing skills can't build a very good looking marketing email. So the top, as you'll see here, is suggesting that we place an image in there. So what we do is we come over and we can click this little pencil. So when you move around the email, you'll hopefully see that each element, I'm going to go a little bit slower, each element, as it moves, it highlights it. And within that, you have different controls. You have the pencil, which will edit the layout. You have the kind of two squares overlapping each other. That is allowing you to clone that particular section. And obviously you have a bin, which is going to remove that section. So if, for example, we don't want to put a company logo at the top of our email, we can go ahead, highlight that and click the bin, and that's going to disappear. And as easy as that, it's gone. You may have noticed that automatically our email is being saved. So all the work that we're doing here is not going to be lost. You can start something and come back to it later. No rush. And it's telling us the last time it was saved, who was the version, and every 5 minutes it's going to make that change for us. So coming back to the body of this template, I'm now going to edit the top header section by clicking on the pencil, as you can see here. And what you'll notice is the left-hand side has now changed to give me all the possible layout settings for that row or section that we're looking to edit. So firstly, it's saying what kind of column is this? Now, for my email that I'm planning to build here today, I'm going to do like a header image at the top with some text below. So I want that to be one column as it is, but you could easily switch the columns along. You can add some top and bottom spacing if you so wish. And you can also decide how is the background type. So does it spread across the entire width of the email? So what do I mean by that? If you see this dotted line down the right and left hand side of the image, that's the content width of that block. And to the left hand side and right hand side, there's this kind of pale blue, grey, purple, forgive me, I'm colorblind. There's a different color. And that is the full width. And so we can either say we want this to spread the full width or within the content width. Again, for the purposes of this and majority of newsletter marketing type emails, stick to content width. We've also got the body color of the space behind it. Now I'm going to be using an image, so it's going to overlay all of that. But if you wanted to have maybe a smaller image and some text, the body color is what color is the background. So again, if you look below, the rest of this email is a body color of white. You've got a handy color picker, so you can click onto the circle and it's going to give you a common set of colors that it's picked for you, so you can pick those. If you happen to have, say, company branding, you might have brand guidelines, you can go ahead, click the advanced tab, and you can insert your own hexadecimal code or the RGB. So whichever way you happen to know your custom colors, you can go ahead and select those here and build them out. You can also, if you wanted to, select a body pattern. Now, it's getting more common that this will work, but if you don't rely on it, that's the number one thing I say. Email is archaic. I have no idea why, but the majority of email clients still, in all the advances of technology and particularly in web, and I've been involved in this, as I said, for like 24 years, since I was 13, email and email clients, like say Outlook, are still rendering emails from sets of code when I was 13. They just, I don't know why, blocks and background patterns and transparencies, they just haven't, I don't know, haven't decided to stick with guns and follow the same sort of development cycle that HTML has advanced. It's really frustrating. Anyway, my point being, background body patterns, unless it's really essential and you think that you're going to ruin your entire life by not having it, I would personally say avoid them, because they're not going to come out as you see fit across your different delivery devices. So we're happy with the layout of that section, and that's great. So I'm going to click done at the top left on this layout settings. And what I'm going to do is into that section, I'm going to select an image. I'm going to drag it and I'm going to drop it into that block. And then I'm going to say select an image. And it's got loads of things because it's the first time I'm opening. So a really cool new feature is you can integrate into Canva and design with Canva. That, again, a whole nother session easily on Canva. We also offer some free videos on our YouTube channel, which you can grab. And we have some paid training that you can undertake. It's an online training course for Canva, so a few plugs there. But if you want to get the basics of Canva and do it online with our senior designer, Nathan, we can get you hooked up, so just let me know. So my trailer thoughts, I would like to add an image and I'm going to upload it because I have luckily got a team of designers that can design nice things for me here at Finally, and I'm going to use a header that has already been used. So I've selected that header and it's uploaded and you can see it here, and then I'm going to simply click on that header and it's going to appear into the top of the email as we kind of wanted it to. So the next thing is there's a text block below, and you can see again, we can click the pencil tool and it's going to bring up what we wish to do with editing it. So I can highlight this text and say, you know, check out, not check out in that, check out my latest session Again, as with most and common tools, it's all as you'd expect. So highlight that text. I can come up to the top here. You'll see that the text manipulation area has appeared. And from here, I can make the changes. So I can select, the fonts. Again, welcome to email. We're talking about a lack of fonts. If you want to do custom fonts, you're going to have to get into a whole heap of coding and backwards compatibility for emails. There are a set of web-safe fonts, and then there are a few other fonts that HubSpot have already built in that they're going to handle. So you're limited to these fonts. Reality, pick something that's as close to your brand as possible. If you really need custom fonts, it's a lot of work. And again, the reliability of how that's going to be received the other end can't be given. So I would suggest you pick a font here and go with it. So I'm going to go to Tahoma. We are already at our halfway point, so please fire questions in. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear them. Please put them in the chat, or if you don't want anything for now and I've maybe tickled your imagination with something I've mentioned, please just send that as a comment after, or DM me, or email me. Any way you can find me. Anyway, back to business. So I've selected the font. I'm now going to go ahead and select the font color, which for this instance, we're going to go with red to keep it on topic. I then have the email text, and I'm going to put, I would love to remind you that my LinkedIn live sessions take place each week at midday. Just because of time, I'm not going to get into showing you too much more about this. So I want to give you the real core. So you can see I could easily insert an element in an image, and all these other elements that you have available to you on the left-hand side, such as image, a text, a button. So I'm going to put button in. I'm going to drag and drop it just below here. And this button, as you notice, instantly brings up the options of how to edit it. So I'm going to say, what does this button do? So it's going to link to, and it could be any of these things. So a call to action, an email address, a subscription link, downloads, meetings, one of your pages, or a specific URL. So for this example, I'm going to do an email subscription link, and I'm going to do a confirmation of subscription. And I'm going to put here, remind me as my button text. I'm going to choose that again in Tahoma to keep it on the current branding. I'm going to make that text white, which it is. I'm going to change the background color of the button to be, let's make it yellow, which is horrendous because I can't read it. So let's make it orange. And there we have it, really simple button. If you wish to add a border, you can. I think that looks horrible, so I won't. You can adjust the corner radius of that button easily with a drag and drop slider here. I'm going to go with a nice small one there. Where do you want that button to appear within the email? So alignment, center, and then padding. By default, padding is the space between the top of an element. So in this instance, the top of that button there in orange, and the available space of the whole block. So as you'll see between the highlighted block, which is the blue, and the top of the element, button, orange, that white space in between, that's what we call padding. And so obviously I can expand that. So if you watch me add, increase this to 50, I've increased that padding space here. So this is just about, again, giving you some room to breathe. If you've got a design that you're specifically following, then you'll be able to pull those elements out. For now, that's perfect. So I'm going to click done. As I said, I'm going to just delete these other elements because I don't have time to go into it. So this is a really basic email, just kind of highlighting my sessions and asking people if they would like to click this link and take an action. Again, I will show you in my another session how to build up subscription lists, how to manage them. But for now, we're just going to assume that's taken care of. So Why do HubSpot let you send out 2,000 free emails per month? Well, obviously there's a little bit of a caveat. That caveat is they get to put some branding at the bottom of your email. If you can live with that and accept that they're giving you a ton of amazing kit for the sake of a little logo at the bottom, then cool, go ahead, do that and keep it free. If you can't possibly do that but can see the massive benefits of HubSpot, let me know and we can talk to you about pricing and what the first steps are to getting a paid feature and removing that. So the next thing that we really need to look at is the settings of this email. So we're going to click settings at the top center. And here is going to be all of the different elements that we need to ensure are correct in order to send this email. So who's this email coming from? So by default, it's picked myself because I am the only user in this portal, but it could come from any user in your portal. The from address, so again, it's picked my email address. Now you could connect different email addresses in. So if you wanted it to come from, for example, subscriptions at or newsletter at, you can configure that email address. Again, I'll show you that in another session. But for now, we're going to go with Rob because it's here and it's working. So the subject line is reminder of great free training sessions, even if I do say so myself. Preview text. Now this is what appears, in the snippet. So a lot of people in their email client don't automatically open the full emails. So it'd just be like an email to remind you to watch some great free training. You can personalize this. Now that's some contact token. So I might put, hey, if I can type, hey, contact, and then I can go first name. And if that isn't registered, you have a global fallback field effectively. So in this instance, I'll go, hey there, because it makes sense. So it'll be, hey, Rob, this is an email to remind you to watch some great free training. If I have a contact in my database that doesn't have a first name, then it's just going to read, hey there, this is an email. Obviously, you can pick your own subject lines. A subject line is actually one of the most critical things to email open rates and click-through rates. Great article on our website, finally.agency, where we share some top tips. One of the team has written a really great article. I'm full of plugs today. Or another plug, which I know Chris has asked me to talk about, is, follow our hashtag on LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn and you're watching this on LinkedIn, great. Obviously connect with me, but also just search for hashtag finally engine room. Follow that hashtag. That is where not only myself, but the whole of the team at Finally are constantly sharing educational content and free training and sessions and webinars. Jump on the hashtag, give it a follow. You won't regret it. So the internal email name, this is just so that when I come back to this later, I'm going to know what it is. So I'm just going to put 20 in 21 demo email number 1. We're sending it in English. The subscription type, so for people to be able to subscribe or unsubscribe from your portal, GDPR and blah, 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 you have to have a series of preferences. So you can have like customers, you could have marketing, you could have loads of different ones. And what that means is you can classify your emails into subscription preferences, and people can therefore unsubscribe from specific elements of your communication. So if they're just fed up with your marketing, but they're really interested in your product information, if you set those up in different classifications from the start, when someone unsubscribes, they're not going to, by default, unsubscribe from everything that you're sending them. You're giving them the option to go, actually, I find the product information really useful, so I'm going to stay subscribed to that, but the marketing, they need to employ a better agency, maybe give them our name. So all of that's complete, and what we're now going to do is click to the send, and I've got 1 minute to show you. So if you have a number of people in your database, you can build lists, which I'll show you next week. We're going to do lists. But for now, I'm just going to pick the only other contact in this database, which is Maria. So I'm going to send it to them. And the options are, do I want to send it now or schedule? So I've only got one recipient. It's telling me I've got the 2,000 left to send. I'm going to hit review and send. You can see it does a check on everything in that email before it allows you to send, which is giving you a little saving grace. And as you can see, I've failed to input my company name and address for legal compliance, so it won't let me do that. So I have to quickly do that here. Oh. I think that's all the actual requirements. Missed an R. And there we go. We're going to hit review again. Everything looks good. We're in the last 30 seconds of the session. I'm going to click send. And there we go. How to create and send your first email in 20 minutes. I hope that's been useful. I really have enjoyed these sessions. I'd love all over the place here, sorry. I'd love you to connect with me. I'd love you to follow us, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, catch up with anything that you've missed. For now, I'm going to love you and leave you and see you next week. Take care.